Part of the purpose of today's video is that we want to talk about propagation of Solomon seal because it is a plant that's becoming more and more used in the herbal industry, and we're getting more fragmentation of habitat, wild areas, and loss of biodiversity. So we'll talk a little bit about propagation. How do we grow Solomon seal? There are two ways to propagate Solomon seal, by seed or root cuttings or root divisions. Seed, of course, needs to be collected when seed are present, generally in like mid to late summer. If we're doing root divisions or asexual propagation, we would generally do that when the rhizome and the plants are dormant, which would be anywhere from the first hard freeze in the fall, usually mid to late November, on through the winter into the early spring months. Seed propagation, you collect seed during the time the seed is present. It needs to go through either 6 months of stratification or 18 months of stratification, depending on the genetics of the plant, how quickly you sow the seed. There are a lot of variables there. There's no good scientific data on seed propagation of Solomon seal that I know of. This is all from anecdotal experience. I tend to prefer rhizome division myself. It's a little easier to get larger plants more quickly. It takes more germplasm to actually get the numbers of plants than it does seed, but typically you get more consistent results more quickly with rhizome divisions. One thing you'll notice on the Solomon seal rhizome is, besides the actual Solomon seal, these nodes or growth rings, is we have the older portion of the rhizome that has a lot less of these active rootlets coming from it, and the younger portion of the rhizome where this bud for this year's growth emerges, okay? As this rhizome grows and ages, this old part of the rhizome will eventually senesce, die, and decay. And so what you'll have is this general progression of this rhizome to grow and move in this direction. Sometimes you'll get lateral buds come off, so you'll have 2 or 3 laterals coming out, but it will always grow in the direction of this terminal bud. So if we were going to plant this in a woodland situation, in a wild stewardship situation, we want to multiply and increase our Solomon seal population in our woodland garden, and we still want to harvest for making medicine, what we may do is take maybe half of this rhizome and harvest that, take it inside and make our medicine, okay? Or sell to our customer. This remaining rhizome we can cut in 3 pieces. Each piece has active rootlets and latent buds. This plant now thinks, oh my gosh, I've been damaged, I need to reproduce. It'll start to produce auxins and these buds will start to form. So each one of these pieces has these little latent buds, and so what we end up with is we have 3 rootlets that we're going to plant back where the original plant came from, and we'll put those in the ground. This old stem scar, which is what this seal area is facing up, that's what forms that, by the way, the old stem scar, and we'll cover them up. And so where we dug one Solomon seal in a few years, we'll have 3. So we're just going to triple our population in a matter of a few years by just doing this.